Chiefs quarterback L'Jarius Sneed has been at the forefront of a lot of trade speculation over the past few weeks, basically since he received the franchise tag from the Chiefs not too long ago, where he's now playing the 1 year on a $19 million or so contract, which is something, a lot of players don't like doing, playing on that franchise tag. For some reason, they just don't like it. I'd have to dive into the logistics around that. I'm not sure if it's guaranteed or if none of it's guaranteed or what the case may be on the franchise tag and why they don't like playing on it, because I think $19 million is pretty decent, if you will. But if you're L'Jarius Sneed, you're thinking, hey, I've won a couple Super Bowls here. I've been known to be one of the top defensive players on this organization. I feel like I should get paid as such, and he just hasn't, right? But the Kansas City Chiefs had to go out and re-sign Chris Jones. That took up a lot of cap space. They've paid Patrick Mahomes. He restructured his deal a couple times now. So they're forking out a lot of money, but basically the Chiefs franchise tag L'Jarius Sneed in a way to potentially or possibly trade him away. And one of the destinations that actually just popped up over recent days is our Minnesota Vikings. Okay, and L'Jarius Sneed is eyeing the possibility of the Vikings trading for him and that he would love to play with Brian Flores. So let's dive right into it, and then I'll give you guys my 2 cents of what I think about this situation, if it will happen or not. So before we do that, make sure to subscribe to the channel and drop a like. It'd be much appreciated. So the Minnesota Vikings defense transformation has caught the attention of Kansas City Chiefs top cornerback L'Jarius Sneed, who is available by trade this offseason. After the Chiefs placed a $19.8 million franchise tag on Sneed in hopes of trading the star cornerback, Sneed is interested in playing for the Vikings, especially under Brian Flores. That is what KSTP's Darren Wolfson reported. Here's what I do believe Score North or Wolfson basically said. He said he wants to play for Brian Flores. L'Jarius Sneed would love to be here now. This is what he said on Mackey and Judd podcast, adding that the Vikings would have to give up a draft or have to give up draft capital and sign Sneed to an extension that rivals the top corners in the league. All right. This is also what I believe Wolfson said. The Chiefs are looking for a pretty decent draft pick. You're not getting him for a 6th or a 7th round pick. Now, maybe in the end you do, but right now there's no way. Okay, you're just not. And you need to give him a monster contract. So there's a lot of hurdles there. But I'm just telling you, bottom line, L'Jarius Sneed would love to play for the Vikings. A 2024 round pick, Sneed has been an impact player from the moment he arrived in Kansas City. Okay, he started in 54 career games and has secured 10 interceptions and 40 passes defensed and played in every Chiefs playoff game the past 4 seasons, including 2 Super Bowl victories. Okay, last season, Sneed held opposing quarterbacks to a 66 passer rating, the 6th best rating amongst NFL corners last season per Pro Football Focus. So L'Jarius Sneed is on the market. He's available via trade. Will the Vikings pull the trigger? I'm not 100% certain they will, but what might it take to get L'Jarius Sneed to the Minnesota Vikings via a trade? Well, while the Vikings don't have a 2nd or 3rd round pick in this year's draft after landing the 23rd overall pick in a trade with the Houston Texans, they may not need to spend valuable draft capital considering Sneed needs a new contract as well. Now, Carrington Harrison of 610 Sports Radio reported on March 18th that no team has offered the Chiefs a 2nd round pick for Sneed. Now, how accurate is that? I have no idea. I'm not sure how in the know Carrington Harrison is, but if that's true, that's something to keep an eye on. Harrison said that the Chiefs are fine with Sneed playing or staying in Kansas City and playing on the $19.8 million franchise tag for the 2024 season. But they are cap constrained by the deal at a position where they already have All-Pro Trent McDuffie on a rookie deal. Okay, now a 2nd round pick seems to be the price to get a deal done overnight. Okay, if somebody offers the Chiefs a 2nd round pick, boom, that deal's done. Sneed's heading to whoever offered that trade, right? But the Vikings can wait out the situation and perhaps offer a 3rd or even a 4th rounder to get L'Jarius Sneed from the Chiefs. All right, so it's something to keep your eye on. L'Jarius Sneed could end up a Minnesota Viking, but the matter of the fact is, or I guess my opinion is, don't get your hopes up. I don't think it's going to happen, and I'll tell you why. So we don't have a second round pick this year. We don't have a third round pick. So we would have to trade next year's second or next year's third or next year's fourth in order to get L'Jarius Sneed. So that'd be a little tough to kind of part ways with, being that we don't have a second this year. Would we really want to part ways with the second round pick next year or even a third round? Just one of those pristine type of picks when L'Jarius Sneed evidently, okay, is getting older in age, as everyone does. Okay, it's just, that's a matter of fact. It's what happens, when you're, living, okay, that you just get older, right? So things can start deteriorating. His play could start deteriorating just a little bit, right? But the massive thing, the one thing that I look at that tells me this will not happen, is because if we trade for L'Jarius Sneed, we are going to have to pay L'Jarius Sneed. That means a contract extension. That means giving up a lot of money when we already have to work on this man's deal. Justin Jefferson still has to get extended. That's the deal that needs to get done first and foremost, to figure out what type of money we would even have left to offer L'Jarius Sneed. So that is a big reason why I don't think L'Jarius Sneed is going to end up on the Vikings. And if it does happen, I'm going to be very excited. The other reason I don't think it's going to happen is because Minnesota just went out and made a move yesterday, signing Shaq Griffin, who formerly of the Seattle Seahawks and then the Carolina Panthers. So we're already adding to that position a little bit at cheap, or at least cheaper than what L'Jarius Sneed would be, being that we would have to extend him to a contract or extend his contract with us, which means giving out money. So there's a couple reasons why I just don't think this is going to happen, but it's still something that could very well happen, and it's the NFL, right? So be ready, just in case. It could happen. I don't see it happening. I'm sure you guys would look at this and be like, yeah, that's probably not happening either, just because of the money, having to extend him and stuff like that. It would be great. I would love to have L'Jarius Sneed on this roster at corner, because we just haven't had great DBs. Plain and simple. We just haven't. So adding a guy who is a two-time Super Bowl champion, is getting paid really well, has those 10 receptions, 40 passes deflected, would be great to add to that defense. But the reality of the reality of it is it'd be tough. I don't think it's going to happen, but just keep an eye on L'Jarius Sneed is eyeing the Minnesota Vikings as a possible trade destination. Will the Vikings pull the trigger? I don't know. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It'd be much, much appreciated. Have a great rest of your night, folks, and Skol Vikes.